Okay, so we're going to make some solid text. To make solid text, you're going to start by using just your normal text command. And I like using a single line text, which is DT. So I'm going to hit DT and hit enter. And with that, it's going to ask me the start point. I'm going to pick my start point over here. And now it asks me for the height. Well, we're going to be using this to 3D print. And if whether it's on a pawn or a chess piece or some other object you're going to 3D print, the minimum size text that works well for our printer is 0.16. So I'm going to go 0.16 tall for my text, and rotation angle of 0, and I'm going to go ahead and put in my text. I'm just going to put in Worcester there and put that on the screen. Now, I said 0.16 size was the minimum size that worked well. However, it has to be a thick, bold text. If you notice, this text is kind of thin. If I measure this text from about right there, just get an approximate measurement on this, to about right there, that text measures 0.019, which is way below our specs for our pawn pieces, and our specs on our rings are going to be 0.03. So that's below that spec. So what we have to do is we have to change the style of our text. So we're going to type style. The default style is Arial regular. We're just going to change it to bold and go apply and close that. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my text again and put in Worcester here again. And now when I measure this text, measure the width of my letter T over here. It measures 0.0291. If I was a little bit more careful and got that a little bit more precise, it would have been a little bit larger. There, 0.03, wow, exactly. So that is right on our minimum spec for our rings, and it's going to work pretty good and it prints pretty well. So that's the text I'm going to use. I'm going to get rid of this other one up here. So to start with it, making it into a solid, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to come up here to the top to Express Tools, and over to Modify Text, hit that down arrow, and click on Explode. So we're going to come out there, we're going to explode the text. What that does is it breaks the text into a bunch of polyline segments. So if you click on one of these pieces there, it's just a little polyline. The first thing we're going to do, or the next step I should say, we're going to region all of that text together. Regioning it, that makes it so we can make it into a solid. Once it's regioned, I'm going to go ahead and union the text. Union it all together. So now it's all union together. It's all one thing out there. It's just a 2D plane. And now I'm going to go ahead and just go extrude. And pick my text, extrude it, and I'm going to say extrude it 1/4 inch. And there is our nice little solid text out there, extruded 1/4 inch. And this really prints and looks pretty good. Okay? So now, again, I said that text was 0.16 tall and a 0.03 wide for the individual pieces of it. I have some other examples of some text over here. So here's that one. That was Arial, and it's bold. And you can see how it measures 0.16 by 0.03. There's other text that will work. So when you type the style command, you'll see all these different styles you can pick from. You can go down through there. There's probably a couple hundred different styles. The thicker text work well. These skinny ones will not work well at all. But if you get to a thick text, let me go down through there. Oh, there was kind of a thick one. That's kind of thick, but yet the little gap in there is pretty small. But a thick text will work. Let me show you some examples of some different text. So here's one called Artifact, EH. 0.16 tall again. Again, see it measures 0.049 wide. It is a little bit close together here, so I think the letters may blur together a little bit. These letters are actually almost even touching. So I don't know how that one's going to look, but that one might be a possibility. Here's one that's Bauhaus. That was one I just showed you. For whatever reason, it measures 0.1561. I did put it at 0.16, and it measures pretty thick for the actual text. But again, the gap in between is really small. So again, I don't know how for sure that's going to turn out. Here one is Harlow B. This one I do definitely remember on it. I had to make it a little bit taller than 0.16, 0.177. I probably made it 0.18, I'm guessing. And that was to give it the thickness that was at least 0.03. When I had it 0.16 tall, it wasn't thick enough. I think this one will probably turn out pretty well. Again, I think it's going to kind of blur together here because that's such a narrow gap, but we'll just have to see once it prints. And here's another one called Wide Latin. And again, it's 0.16 tall. It's extremely wide, so I think it's going to show up pretty good. But again, some of these little tiny gaps I think are going to kind of blur together. So there's some examples. I have a little block I'm going to print for that, and I'll show you that now. Here's a little 3D block that I've created. Now what I'm going to do with this block is I haven't printed it yet, but it will be printed. And has all those texts that I just went through, plus some more. It has 12 different text on it. And I have 12 texts going around the outside of this, so it's going to be printing from the base up, so they're going to be printed kind of on the side. And I also have I have all those same 12 text here from the top view, all written around this. So I'm going to print this as a little test block to see how those turn out. And you can kind of look at those and decide what text you think will work and look well on whatever it is you're going to be putting your text on. So look for that, and we'll see what that looks like. Have a great day. Good luck.